Art to me is something I have full control over, and at the same time have absolutely no control over. My name's Gugan Gill and I'm an artist. My work focuses on themes around feminism, storytelling, diaspora. It very much focuses on the small, mundane things perhaps in life that we often overlook, the things that surround you and the things that also shape you. My notebook I would consider as one of the most exciting spaces in terms of my practice. It is here I get all my thoughts and feelings down onto paper. My sketchbook, on the other hand, is me just mostly messing around and trying to capture a moment, and between balancing the two, I see my practice as trying to have this sense of control but also this element of letting myself go and freedom. It's something that's easier said than done, but I'm always trying to be aware of. I like to think within my work I am challenging norms and expectations. I like to incorporate this idea of unlearning and relearning and learning again within all my work, and this constant rethinking things and reflecting and questioning. And I believe it's something we all need to do, and it's something I'm always working on and always try to incorporate into how I live my life. Growing up, you realise you have more and more yet to learn, and wandering into womanhood and reflecting on this personal endeavour of mine thus far, I now think of the life I lead and how it compares to... Wandering into Womanhood was a project that compares and speculates the evolution of feminism, whilst also understanding my situated place within feminism and the world as it is now. My documentary provides a personal yet educational narrative that is important to me and something others can relate to and learn from. It captures the importance of intersectionality, discussing topics around differences, identities and personal experiences. And discussions about race, identity, politics and the list goes on often feel like you've entered uncharted territory, and listening to Lord we can understand and acknowledge that these are the conversations we perhaps need the most.
To have reinforced categories when as people we're always going to be fluid and we always need to go between the lines.
This takes me on to Simone de Beauvoir. And it was through this I expanded the narrative and the conversation into postcards, having these intimate dialogues between myself and another person. Here I would very much open myself up. I would talk about identity, gender, race, sexuality, and it was a space that provided a starting point and a conversation starter, which I then realised was so important, and I was getting all of these responses and these wonderful letters back, and I realised how eye-opening this was for me and how profound this was in helping me understand who I am. Within my work, I like to think I am challenging norms and expectations by focusing on the small things in life and the things that we often overlook. The life story, as Ursula Le Guin talks about. I feel like there's this domestic sense of feminism and rethinking and relearning and reconsidering the things that surround us. And there's a beauty in that. There's a beauty in that kind of way of seeing that inspires me, and that's the thing that influences everything I make. Into the Garden is a recording of my encounters while sat in the garden, speculating and discussing what this outdoor space means to me and how it's metaphorical for growing up and change. The work encapsulates my reflections on my childhood garden, the current family garden and the garden in my own home, and how I am or have transversed between these different spaces. Topics within the publication revolve around themes such as growing up and change, seeing the garden as a metaphorical space for these universal and relatable emotions. Time and place is incredibly important to me. This consciousness of time being ever changing and a place ever evolving, and it's with that consciousness I think you can unlock something incredibly exciting in the way you see things. I started to take a big interest in stories from home and family archives, and sitting down with my parents and my grandparents and just talking to them, and it was through these simple conversations we were having that I uncovered all of these really exciting things that I think I already knew, but there were things I often overlooked and didn't appreciate until I was older and I viewed things differently. Stories from Home is a critical investigation into understanding my identity as a South Asian Indian diaspora, using family history and archival material to help me understand my transcultural identity.
Both is a lobelia. Shall I do the lobelia?
Yeah. It is the sweetest picture. Oh. I speak as a young Punjabi woman whose roots trace back to that of farming life in rural Punjab. Part of the South Asian diaspora, I've come to realise that stories from home are the ones that have done the most in terms of shaping me. They allow me to make sense of my own situated experiences within this world. They're the stories of life, full of knowledge, understanding and journeys. I recently discovered that the idea of practice-based research is where the art lies for me. That's the bit I enjoy the most, and that's the bit where you uncover so many possibilities. An encounter with the past, an encounter with people before us, and a revealing of what once was. A memory made tangible. How beautiful hilltop was there with the flowers. Oh, this is Simraj.
Yeah.
Oh. There's something so beautiful in film, capturing this said moment in time, capturing this place that you can never visit again because places and time are always changing, and you've captured that moment and now you have the ability to share that with people, a glimpse into what once was. Home and place are incredibly important to me. I've come to realise that home is where I feel comfortable, home is where I feel safe, home is also where I'm allowed to sort of question and challenge myself. Home is a place where I can grow and I can cultivate. Working collaboratively is hugely exciting to me, and working alongside artist Ashley Wilson, we had this open conversation which expanded on our two different projects and brought them together. We both spoke about identity and race, and we had this huge, beautiful conversation and created this space where people could really open up and we could open up and share experiences, whether they be similar or different. Relatively unheard of, and they're quite hard to understand. There's no literal, digestation. Like, there's nothing to make sense of this experience, and then so it's through our work and having this open conversation, we're trying to make sense of that. Okay, so these are all from my mom's side of the family, and then there's just random pictures. These are all the pictures that my dad has, and that's it. Which I think, in comparison to my mom's side of the family, where they have all these albums and then all these reels of old footage, I think it's quite sad.
Isn't that because your sort of dad's family were already more scattered and more isolated?
Yeah, I think their lives were very different.
So they'd already at that point.
I think I've come to realise art is far more than some big eccentric painting, but it's a way of thinking and it's a practice. It's a physical how you live your life and the way you see, opposed to just a final outcome and a thing that you then display and show people.